And ZBA, you are live.
Good morning and welcome to Friday, June 14th, 2024 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Again, I'd like to thank LTV Studios for hosting us. And I do believe, as per Gabby, we will be back in August, not July, at the firehouse or the emergency service building. We have the minutes from May 10th, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have two determinations today. We've just received the other four this morning, and I don't believe most of the board members had time to review it. So we're going to do 29 Lily Pond Lane. In the application of Lily Lane LP, 29 Lily Pond Lane, Suffolk County Tax Map number 301-13-13-12 for an area variance and a coastal erosion hazard area permit and variance to renovate and enlarge a single-family residence and to renovate a legally pre-existing cottage is granted with conditions. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Gabby, poll the board, please.
Mr. McGurk?
Yes.
Mr. McMullen?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Having not been present at the actual hearing, but I have reviewed the minutes, I have watched the video of the hearing and studied the application, visited the site, so I am prepared and comfortable voting. I vote yes.
Mr. Barris?
I as well have watched the hearing and reviewed the minutes and was not present at the meeting, but I will be voting yes.
Okay. Thank you. The next application will be 31 Church Street, in the application of David G. and Christina M. Siegel, 31 Church Street, Suffolk County Tax Map number 301-2-6-28.1 for an area variance is granted. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Gabby, poll the board, please.
Mr. McGurk?
Yes.
Mr. McMullen?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Again, having not been present at the hearing, but having reviewed the minutes, watched the video of the hearing, studied the application, visited the site, I'm comfortable voting yes.
Mr. Barris?
Same scenario. I was not at the meeting, but I did review the YouTube. I did review the minutes. I reviewed the application. So therefore, I'm going to be voting yes as well.
Thank you. Moving into, we do have one adjournment today, Hunting Hospitality LLC to July 12, 2024. And we're moving into today's hearings. Please, Gabby.
Application of Ethelyn A. Chase and Daphne Rose, Suffolk County Tax Map number 301-12-7-3 for a variance from Chapter 278 zoning and a wetlands permit in accordance with Chapter 163 freshwater wetlands to construct a swimming pool, dry well, fencing, and pool equipment. A wetlands permit is required in accordance with sections 163-3 and 163-7, and variances of 67.5 feet, 65.3 feet, 78.5 feet and 50 feet are required from section 278-3A8 to construct a swimming pool, pool equipment, fencing, and dry well located 82.5 feet, 84.7 feet, 71.5 feet, and 100 feet, respectively, from wetlands where the required wetland setbacks are 150 feet. The subject property is 93,532 square feet in area and is located at 15 Jones Road in Residence District R160. This project is classified as a type 2 action in accordance with SECRA.
Yeah, I'm present.
Hi, John Tarbett for the applicant. So this property is on Jones Road. The Chase property, you may remember it burned down probably 25 years ago, was rebuilt, and for some reason never had a pool. We are trying to get a permit for a pool, so we tried to locate it in the best possible location, which is just off the side of the house. We met all side yard setbacks, front yard setbacks, every dimensional requirement that you could possibly meet, but we are unable to meet the wetland setback. It's a pretty small pool. It's only 6 feet deep at the deepest point. And we are looking for relief of 15 feet where 125 is required. It's over an existing lawn, so there's no known environmental detriment. It's probably arguably better than what a lawn would do to the wetland. I don't think there's any opposition.
Will the pool be raised out of the ground?
It's like, we did do a pool profile and submitted it. It's slightly raised out of the ground, and there is, on our pool profile, we showed the area we would require to grade it down to the lawn. It's the area shown in orange around it says proposed pool, and the orange area is where we would be required to regrade the existing lawn.
What concerns me if it's out of the ground, I mean, do we have any kind of landscaping plan with this down?
Well, it's right now it's all lawn, so we were just going to put back lawn. I'm not sure that answers your question.
Go ahead, Mr.
So,
Rhodes.
having visited the site, it looked to me, in reviewing the siting for the pool, the two trees, there are two large mature trees, probably the only two large mature
Yes.
trees on the site that would have to come down for this location of the pool. Why?
These two, yeah, they're London plane trees. They're beautiful, but they're also up too close to the house. They're completely growing into the house and providing a lot of shade to the house too. What I really would have loved to avoid. I mean, the reality is those trees probably have to come down anyway, just because of how close they are to the house. But I still wanted to avoid having to locate a pool where those trees are. There just isn't a better. The wetland goes around the house.
So understanding that a pool is a desired benefit for the property, and that there are wetlands constraints, but there are other. I think what you're saying in the application is any pool location is going to bump it into some version of a variance request.
That's true.
Pursuant to the wetlands. But so the issue then becomes about why the applicant is choosing to locate it in this site vis-a-vis any other portion that would also require a variance. So not clear to me exactly what the benefit is of this particular location vis-a-vis any of the other potential locations, recognizing that anything would likely require some version of a variance.
I understand, yeah. Well, we did try to minimize the requested variances. So the first thing we did is try to not request any side yard or front yard variances. The other issue is everywhere to the north of the house is previously that had not been a designated wetland to the north of the house. It clearly is. I don't know why it wasn't shown as wetlands on previous wetland flaggings, where it shows as a stone driveway. So anywhere on that side was going to be closer to the wetland. And this is a relatively flat portion of the property. If you've been there, you notice that it drops. There's a pretty good slope down to the wetlands. So we didn't want to. To me, and I'm completely willing to listen to any suggestions, this was the most logical place. We also are not opposed to replanting trees. They wouldn't be as big, of course, but the property does have a lot of lawn, and there is room to plant trees that would eventually grow. And not the trees that are there, as beautiful as they are, it's a real shame, but they are growing 10 or 15 feet from the house, and their branches are completely blocking the windows. And it's, unfortunately, they were planted in the wrong spot originally, probably.
I'd like to see a landscaping plan because it's going to be raised out of the, it's going to be kind of sitting up a little higher than most of the lawn.
A landscaping plan for like around the pool area?
Around the pool area.
We were proposing to make that lawn. It's lawn now. I'm asking if you want something different. I
don't think if I was the neighbors, I want to see the pool raised out of the ground. I know that.
Yeah, I don't think they can see it, but
What kind of septic system does the property have?
it's got a 1980s non-IA system. The property is aged. It probably will be back before you at some point. There's that large garage where that actually has a bathroom in it sitting down there. And the house itself needs some work, and the entire property is within the jurisdiction. So I think it's going to probably come back before you, not with the current applicant or me, but I think at that point when it's redeveloped, it'll probably be a good time to maybe eliminate some lawn and put a new septic system in. But we're not opposed to. The reason why I'm asking about around the pool is John, were you asking like maybe a re-veg near the
It's the front of the property where the gate is.
Oh, okay. So you're looking for privacy reasons. That's fine. We're not opposed to that either.
Would you put a new IA system in? You want to think about that, or?
Well, I can think about it now. I mean, if I could just first address, we'd be more than happy to plant along the street side, I think is what your first question was. I think there's a privet hedge there now, and we'd supplement that with any sort of evergreens, or we could easily block any view from the street. And it does meet front yard setbacks. There's not a... The septic system is a tough ask, just because the pool itself, it's over an existing lawn, and I prefer not to do the septic system at this point, knowing that it's probably coming back before you. There'll be and maybe it won't. I guess you can't guarantee it will come back before you, but there's just not a huge nexus between the pool ask and the septic. There's no known detriment from the septic system and no opposition from any neighbors.
So, Jimmy, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
I don't have any
I would like to see some screening from the road if it is going to be raised, just to make sure that it is.
So the side of the pool, and we'll give a great, whatever you want as far as screening goes. Just keep in mind that side of the pool, the property drops off as you go towards the wetland, so that side of the pool is actually not really raised very much. It is raised as you go towards so it's the other side of the pool. So if you look at it from the road, it won't necessarily look raised up, but it's easy enough to block it from the road. So we're happy.
Can you
to
provide us, just for the record, maybe a photograph from the street so you can show that it's not going to be seen?
Yeah, but I'm also willing to supplement whatever's there with whatever the board would desire as far as vegetation goes.
Just for the record, I want to be clear that interventions, recognizing this is a site that is going to, in all likelihood, as the applicant said, require some version of variances in locating and doing work on this site. The issue of the septic system and the protected wetlands area is real, and I think is an important part of any action within the context of the wetlands. So I just want to be clear that that's an important and perhaps a dominant criteria as we, in addition to the others, that's relevant in terms of our determination.
Understand?
It might be a nice trade-off.
Which the septic system or so there is no dimensional variances. So while the screening is an easy ask and an easy give on our part to screen it from the road, it is a wetland variance, as you point out, which is the criteria is the environment. There is really no known detriment from the pool to the environment, even though it doesn't meet setbacks, because there's existing lawn there, and it's better than the existing lawn, arguably at least. But I don't think it would be inappropriate to ask for some give back of lawn area. Is that something the board would find to be offsetting any detriment that the pool could provide? Like we could, in other words, give up some lawn and create some sort of buffer between the wetland and the lawn that's there now.
I think we'll let you come back with a landscape plan and something that you think is reasonable. Okay. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Mr. Rose? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we'll keep the hearing open.
Okay, thank you.
Application of the Dunmere Lane Trust, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 301-9-4-5 for area variances from Chapter 278 zoning to legalize the construction of a generator and an AC condenser unit. Two 2-foot variances are requested from Section 278-3A 5A to legalize the construction of a generator and an AC condenser unit, both located approximately 43 feet from the front yard lot line, where the required front yard setbacks are 45 feet. A 1,287 square foot variance is required from Section 278-3A 9A to legalize 6,162 square feet of coverage, where the maximum permitted coverage is 4,875 square feet. The subject property is 21,877 square feet in area and is located at 43 Dunmere Lane in Residence District R40. This project is classified as a Type 2 action in accordance with SECRA.
Is the applicant present?
How you doing?
Can you please state your name?
Michael Cromer, East Hampton Energy Solutions.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Michael.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
So we installed the generator there. The previous survey, I think, was from 1980 with no coverage calculations or clearing calculations. The survey from then to current looks almost identical. Everything that was on there existing. So originally, we had offset the coverage of the generator by removing slate walkway that was in the back corner to offset any additional coverage.
Okay.
And
Billy, do you have any comments on this?
Sure.
I know this has been in this gentleman's family for a long time, so go ahead.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. That was described correctly. The property, the last C of O issued for the property is from the early 80s. It did not recognize the extent of coverage or contain a coverage calculation. So the building department flagged that as a requirement for any increase in coverage would trigger a variance. They did attempt to offset the increase by removing some slate walkways. So I think there's sort of a no net increase in coverage, but it's still, as a pro forma requirement, the board would have to grant relief for the amount of coverage that presently exists.
Okay, so thank you.
Yep.
Any board members have any issues?
I don't have any issues with this. I mean, it's screened from the road because there's already a fence and pool equipment there. And this being to legalize the overage of coverage, I'm sure the calculation back in the 80s was different than it is today. So I don't have a problem with that.
Anybody in the audience like to speak? Okay, motion to close the hearing? So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Please, Gabby.
Application of JHMB Beach Realty LLC, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 301-8-15-6 for an area variance from Chapter 278 zoning to construct an addition to a residence exceeding the allowable gross floor area. A 138 square foot variance is requested from Section 278-3A13A to construct an addition resulting in a residence containing 4,138 square feet of gross floor area. The maximum permitted gross floor area is 4,000 square feet. The subject property is 30,000 square feet in area and is located at 12 Borden Lane in Residence District R40. This project is classified as a Type 2 action in accordance with SECRA.
Morning.
Good morning. Tiffany Scarlato, 36 West Water Street, Sag Harbor, for the applicant. We are here for 12 Borden Lane, which is a 30,000 square foot lot, as you know. And we're proposing to enclose the property is under construction right now and has received approval. What we're proposing to enclose an already constructed covered porch on the second floor rear of the property, which would serve as a home office to the primary bedroom that's located on the second floor. I believe you do have a letter from the neighbor to the west that didn't have any objections to enclosing that. It is a de minimis request. We don't see any environmental impact, nor will there be any impact to the neighbors. As a matter of fact, the neighbor to the east, who I don't think wrote a letter but didn't write anything in opposition, there should be 2 windows on that side, so the impact of a second-story deck would actually be reduced for the neighbor on that side because the decking on that side is just not really usable. And we don't think it will disrupt the neighbors. It is the minimum variance necessary. It's 3.545% over the 4,000 square foot that's currently permitted. And as I said, it's 138 square feet.
Thank you. Board members?
I didn't see the letter. Was that submitted later?
I think it came by email.
Separate. Last page.
I have to apologize. I didn't check the file to make sure it was there. The client said that the neighbor
I
had
have
sent it. You do have it? Okay.
Yeah, we did. I don't have any issue with this.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't think it impacts the neighbors in any way, and we do have a letter of support.
I agree.
Mr. Rose, any objections?
Just ongoing concern about staying within the permitted envelopes, but this isn't a huge variance. It is de minimis.
Okay, anybody in the audience like to speak on this? Okay, motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Application of 21 Spaeth Lane LLC, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 301-10-1-26 for an area variance from Chapter 278 zoning to legalize a sculpture on a concrete base constructed within the front yard setbacks. A 5.7-foot variance is requested from Section 278-3A5A to legalize a sculpture constructed on a concrete base located 69.3 feet from the front yard lot line where the required front yard setback is 75 feet. The subject property is 113,372 square feet in area and is located at 21 Spaeth Lane in the Residence District R160. This project is classified as a Type 2 action in accordance with SECRA.
Jonathan?
Hi, John Tarber for the applicant. This is a R160 property, so it's 4-acre zoning. Setbacks are pretty large, in this case, 75 feet. My client mistakenly thought that a sculpture would not require a building permit or meet setbacks, so we located one on the property 69 feet, where the 75 feet is required. The initial thought was, okay, when we found out that it did require a building permit, well, what would it cost to move it? This particular sculpture would cost a lot of money to move, significant amount of money. It's insured, and only certain people can move it. So we are here asking for a 6-foot variance. There is no opposition, and it's not really visible from Spaeth Lane, which is not part of the village highway system. It's a pretty quiet street, as you all know, and maybe you can see it through the privet hedge, but barely.
Thank you. Board members?
I have no problem with approving this. I just have it's a question. So in approving this is for this particular this particular concrete for this sculpture. This is not, so if someone wanted to come subsequently with different owner, I'm not implying that there is any other agenda, but to put a generator, also that would not be covered. That would not be included under this approval. This is just for the deck for the concrete block and this location of the sculpture.
And the sculpture itself, I think, as well. It doesn't produce any noise.
I understand. I just want to make sure.
We'll go to Billy on that.
Hypothetically, it's not a camel's nose situation in future kind of situations.
Can we get just Billy to answer that? Tim? One of you, I'm sorry.
Council, someone just.
Historically, the board, when you grant the variance for a specific structure, the variance covers that particular structure. You can't swap out a generator for a sculpture or something like that.
For this specific property, yes. Understood. Yeah.
And this was it, right?
Yep. Understood. Yeah.
There's no objection.
Okay. Anybody in the audience have like to speak on this? Okay. Motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Application of Nancy Kane Testamentary Trust, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 301-8-3-15 for an area variance from Chapter 278 zoning for excessive coverage to construct a patio and pool equipment. A 487 square foot variance is requested from Section 278-3A9A to permit 3,039 square feet of coverage where the maximum permitted coverage is 2,552 square feet. Subject property is 10,264 square feet in area and is located at 29 Dayton Lane in Residence District R40. This project is classified as a Type 2 action in accordance with SECRA.
Morning. Debbie.
Hi. Please raise your right hand and state your name and address for the record.
Larry Kane, 54 Oyster Shore Road, East Hampton.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. Larry Kane, representing my father, George Kane, who lives at 29 Dayton Lane. This is for a coverage variance. I believe there's been no opposition from any neighbors. The patio would be built flush to the existing grade. It cannot be seen from any neighbor's house. It also requests to move the pool equipment out of the garage and build a structure around that. And it still meets setbacks. Everything meets rear and side yard setbacks for both pool and patio. The variance is to make the garage more workable and also to give my father the ability to walk on the bluestone patio as opposed to the lawn.
Board members?
My question is, do you need this much patio? Is there a version that maybe does not have as much patio?
What do we have? We have 3 feet, I believe, outside the coping on 2 sides, correct? And then there's 9 feet on 1 side.
It's not dimensioned, but I'll take that as what the dimensions are.
Yeah, I mean, it's to get access to the pool, so I guess I would still work with on the one backside there where there's 9 feet of patio, is reducing that to basically 3 feet of patio plus the coping, which would then be just a walkway as opposed to a patio.
Right. So how much would that,
That would take off
6 feet
6 feet by probably 25 feet, probably, or 22 feet, I believe.
I would feel more comfortable with that. I don't know about the rest of the board members.
I think I can work with that also.
Makes sense.
Joe?
Yep, I have no problem with that.
All right, so we'll need an updated survey. Okay for that?
Okay.
Should we keep the record open? We'll keep the hearing open until we get the updated survey, and then we'll close the record, and then we'll get it approved.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I don't think we have any, legal pending matters we have to speak of, executive session, so a motion to close the hearing.
Just restate, I think that you have applicants, people appearing regarding 24, the hunting lane things, just restate. I just restate what's going on so they can hear it. I came in after your initial announcement.
So we are at an adjournment until July 12th, so just, sorry about that. So a motion to close the hearing. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Enjoy the weekend.